Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You joined me. Slightly annoyed as I just filmed this entire video and the camera wasn't rolling the entire time, so that's lovely. Take two. Today not today, but I just ticked over 15,000 miles that I've personally put on this E92 M3 that I bought in September. So I wanted to hop on here and do a bit of a maintenance update in terms of running costs associated with daily driving one of these. A lot. 15,000 miles in 7 months is far more than most people put on the car in a year. Figured it would be worth explaining or sharing what owning this has been like with so many miles on it so far. So the car is currently at 90,000. I bought it with 75,000 in Dallas, Texas. Drove it straight home from Dallas to Boston area, and since then pretty much been daily driving it. And in the last video at 10k miles, it was completely dead reliable, zero issues in terms of like actual things that have gone wrong. Obviously do general maintenance, I did spark plugs, oil, stuff like that, but things that had actually broken or needed repairing at the time was nothing. And I'm happy to announce that at 15,000 miles it is the exact same report. For those that are curious that actually didn't see the first video I did with the 10,000 mile update, or any of my videos for that matter, this is a 2011 LCI, obviously basically stripper spec E92 M3. It has two options: sunroof, which I've actually grown to like, and then it also has the DCT, which is a fantastic gearbox. If you haven't seen my video on the DCT versus the manual, go check that out as well. Of course, there's expenses still related to driving this, just general maintenance and stuff like that. Those that didn't see my rod bearing video that I put up a couple months ago, I of course did do the rod bearings on this car just to be safe. That was about $2,200, including an oil level sensor, which isn't typically needed for these jobs. So that is of course a cost associated, but it's a one and done type thing. Unless you're putting 300,000 miles on the car, you're not really going to need to do it again in theory. So yeah, I was happy to get that out of the way and taken care of, but it's definitely a cost to be considered. But rod bearings aside, just to keep the car on the road, all in, since I bought the car, I'm at about $1,500 or $1,600, so $3,800 give or take in general maintenance, and then the rod bearings as well included in that, over the course of 7 months and 15,000 miles. So that's obviously a cost to be considered, because that's still with nothing actually physically breaking on the car. I did have some issues over the winter with the snow tires that I was running being slightly too stretched and falling off the bead a couple times. So eventually I gave in and swapped back to my Pilot Sports, which are proper fitting. So of course there were costs associated with mounting those, taking them off, that whole sort of thing. But that has been the only thing that I've needed to like call a tow truck for, because obviously you can't like reinflate a debeaded tire and drive it to the shop. Of course, it's also not the car's fault, more of my fault. Tires were just slightly too narrow in the front, which you live and you learn. So yeah, for anyone that's curious about, that doesn't currently own one, is curious about how these actually are to live with in the real world in terms of running costs. My car has been dead reliable. Obviously, I can't speak on everyone's cars, but even when they are dead reliable, spending almost $4,000 in 7 months on just general stuff is still a cost to be considered. But also, I mean, I don't think anybody's getting into an E9X M3 and expecting it to be a super cheap car to keep on the road, right? That's not why you buy it. It's just a price you got to pay to play, so to speak. And I personally do think that it's worth every dollar. These cars are so much fun to drive. Having this S65 is super rewarding. It does suck through fuel, of course. Currently have a fuel light on. Get about 17 miles per gallon. Highest I've seen it is about 18. But no one's buying a big V8 for fuel economy. They're buying it for that sound. Of course, other things can impact reliability on these platforms. car that's heavily modified is not going to be as cheap to keep on the road as one that's bone stock like mine. And I'm planning on keeping it like that for, I'd say, all of my ownership, however long I have it. I've never been super big into crazy power mods or anything like that. I think the 3 big ones, exhaust, suspension, and a nice set of wheels, and you're good to go. And then obviously on older cars, stuff like bushings can seriously change how the car drives. So yeah, I hope this video just showing you what my personal experience has been with this car has been helpful. If you're on the market for one of these and you just wanted that sign to go and do it, I'd say go for it. You just got to make sure you're buying a car with the right maintenance, the right documentation on it. Hopefully I'll be back soon with a 20,000 mile, 25,000 mile update, and hopefully nothing's changed. This car has been an absolute joy to own, super dead reliable, and if you're looking for a sign to go pick one up, I'd say this is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I of course will be back with another video soon.